Hey everyone, welcome to Stuff I Never Learned from a Schoolbook. I'm your host, Tom Springer. If you're looking at me, that means it's Monday night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. What are you out in Hawaii? I forgot. You're 4 behind me. So you're 3 o'clock in Hawaii. You are 11 hours ahead of me in Indonesia, so you're 6 a.m. And then everywhere else, you're just figuring out your own time. I can't do it in my head right now. So what's up, everyone? How you doing? Hey, Jolene, how you doing? Hi, Joe. Hey, Melody. Glad you guys are here. As you all know, today's a different type of show. Let me go out here and grab my link for you really quick. We are going to be doing pretty much a open mic night. This right here that I just posted into the comments is how you can actually come onto my show. And all I'm doing tonight is kind of, like I said, an open mic night. You have experiences, you want to talk about stuff, whatever else, come on in. I can have people in, and we'll kind of talk about everything that people want to talk about. Hey, everyone. How y'all doing? Jamie, I saw you popped in. Hi. Jamie says her power's out, but she's going to try to jump on there. Melody said it's 3 p.m., and I got so used to being 2 p.m., right? I know. It's really weird here, too, because all of a sudden we get dark really, really fast out here in Nebraska, and it's not any fun, especially when I wake up in the morning and I'm already going to work and it's dark, and now I'm getting home and it's basically dark too. So, hey, Sandy, how you doing? Welcome to the show. But like I said, we're just going to kind of have whoever wants to pop in and discuss, go ahead. In the meantime, I'm just going to talk. I do have a couple of shows that I'm actually being asked to be guests on, and one of them, hi, Zhang. Welcome to the show. And one of them is I'm going to be on it's a TikTok site basically, but I think she also does a show on YouTube, and it's going to be happening on the 10th of December. I'll be sure to get everything posted out there, what's going to be happening. Hopefully people can jump on. But apparently I am going to be the guest, and I am going to be talking about elementals, interdimensional travel, and parallel universes. And it's just me and one other person. I'm not sure if she does. I still have all the information. It's coming up pretty quick. But hi, Jamie. I see you in the background. I'll be right with you. But I think it's pre-recorded, but I'm not sure if it's live. I'll send you the link. If it's recorded, I'll send you the link after it's done, so that way people can see it. I see Joe sitting in the background as well. Hey, folks, how y'all doing? I do have another one coming on after that a little bit, and I'll just kind of let you know as things go. But right now, I have 2 people to bring on. I'm going to be bringing on Jamie and Joe, who are frequent flyers on the show, at least in the audience side. Now they're going to come and talk. So outstanding. There's Jamie.
Hey.
And there's Mr. Joe right there. How you doing, Joe?
How's it?
Good, brother.
My background's less sunny.
Very less sunny, yes. Mine is still Superman, so that's. So what's going on, guys?
This way, at least you don't see anything. You don't see the background. You don't see the junk or anything.
If I sat out on my deck right now, well, one, I'd be freezing because it's really cold out there.
It's kind of chilly here. It's weird because the temperature actually is warmer because the heat rises. So until it gets cooler tonight, we're okay.
Yeah, we're sitting. I don't know what we're at. Awesome. We're cold. I know that. That's why I'm not sitting outside.
Hey, Mary.
Sitting outside, we'd be looking at all the lights across the lake. People who have started decorating for Christmas.
See, we have just our block is out, so some part of the block I could look at their lights and stuff. But right now it's kind of a
hanging out inside.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what's going on? What do you guys got? Joe went silent on us because he's actually working too.
Oh, I'm here. I have a lot of people.
Joe's trying to multitask, so we'll see how that goes.
It's actually silent here, so it's kind of creepy. It's so silent. Yeah. I was like, come on, bring the ghost in, because they said it is getting kind of it's humid, right. And I'm like, I could use some cold spots.
So it was really weird. I'll tell you that I'm down at, so this year it looks like I should be writing a manifesto with the brick wall and everything, but I'm not, so I don't want to worry about that. It's just a really nice room because it lets me look out at the lake. But it was really weird because was down here eating dinner, and Nikki was down here with me, and all of a sudden, like 15 minutes ago, I said, wow, I have a very, very strong smell of cigarette smoke. And there's no one around us that smokes cigarettes. And even our neighbors don't. So I was like, wow, that's really weird that this just hit out of nowhere. But someone in the past had talked about how we have someone who is in our basement, is basically in our basement, lives in our basement. I really do my best not to open up in my own house. I just don't. Sometimes it happens, but it was just weird that it just smacked me like that, and it was very strong to me, which is very weird that I was able to smell it because Zhang says hi. Hi, Zhang. She's actually not online right now, everybody. My wife is not online. Well, she's doing her nails, so when she types in, it's because she's.
Hey, Zhang.
So
I'm say hey because I can't see the chat right now.
But it was really weird because right now since I had COVID, I have what's called parosmia, which right now everything to me smells like rotting flesh, and a lot of food tastes like rotting flesh. So it's terrible. I've had it for about 2 years now. But cigarette smoke is one of those things I'm not supposed to be able to smell. It's supposed to smell like rotting flesh, but I was actually able to smell the cigarette smoke.
Well, that's because it's a clear. It's not your physical.
Right.
So it's funny because I smelled cigar smoke the other day in a place where there aren't houses.
Right.
There's just the house, and it was only in one just one spot. But I have a pretty good idea who that is associated with. But it was interesting because even my daughter smelled it too. So.
Oh yeah.
But
she's a mini you, so yeah.
So I was like, but it was one of those where you want to ask. I was like, do you smell that?
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, but this would be a good place to smoke. I was like, who is smoking here? Do you see anybody?
Right. Yeah.
I've always wondered about that. I mean, we have our stories done here too with that, but why do spirits like I understand people, they used to smoke before, right? And so you might smell the smoke, but that's the only vice. You don't smell alcohol, right? Lying around. You smell cigar smoke,
there
you'll smell
have been
cigarette
people who
smoke.
said they smell alcohol though.
Really?
Around alcohol.
Cool.
Yeah. Like
you know,
beer and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. I just kind of wondered about that because then again, you got people like like my dad or somebody, who smell like a big old fart following you around forever. You know what I mean? But you don't hear about that much. It's just the smokers. I guess they just want to keep letting you know that they're smoking in the afterlife. I'm not going to die of lung cancer.
Yeah. I get to enjoy it without any worries.
You smell perfume and stuff like that too. So
Oh yeah, perfume.
I think
yeah, there are definite smells that come across, and you know who it's associated with.
Now, see, I'd be freaking out if I was smelling rotten flesh all the time.
Yeah,
it's really bad.
I'd be like looking around like, shit. Where's the bad thing? Where's the bad thing?
Bring up holy water.
Yeah, it's really bad because it's a smell and it's a taste, and it's terrible. When it first started, it was burnt coffee, like someone who left a coffee pot on the coffee, on for like 3 days, and it was just dried up into there. And that's what the smell was at first, and then it changed. And I'm just waiting for it to change again, hopefully back to normal. But it's been a little over 2 years.
Wow.
It's happened. It's 2 years ago, basically right after Thanksgiving is when everything started to shift. But yeah,
you got some of the first wave.
Oh yeah.
I lasted until a couple of months ago, maybe 3.
What was bad is I came home and I didn't know I was sick but I was down in Texas and I was teaching a course for my actual job, and they told me, hey, one of the kids that you were teaching has COVID, go get tested. And I went and got tested, and I got positive for it. I'm like, oh great, this sucks. But I didn't have any symptoms. Well, then Nikki caught it, and she kind of had like a small case of bronchitis, but we both lost our taste and smell right over Thanksgiving. So we couldn't go. It was kind of a be with family. We couldn't be with family because we were contagious, and they always family is very much does family dinners and holidays together.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't be there with them, but then we also couldn't taste the food I made. So it was a twofer. We're like, oh, this is a waste.
Yeah.
Might as well have tofu and call it good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the interesting thing too is that the smell and the taste. I used
Yeah.
to work in the mental health field, right? I came across of everybody there, one person who had olfactory hallucinations.
Hmm.
And you hear about visual, hearing stuff, seeing stuff. This
Yeah.
girl would actually smell things that aren't there. She would smell like the brain would interpret one smell as another. Like one night I was cooking steak for some of the guys in the house, and I offered her some steak, and she's like, "I'm sure," she's like, "That's all right, Joe. It doesn't smell very good to me right now." And I'm like, "You sure? It smells good. You got the garlic and the butter." And she's like, "It smells like feces to me." And I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah, it's my symptoms acting up again."
Yep.
And it's like, wow, that just kind of blew me out of the water.
Well, yeah. When it happened, it took forever for anyone to get any kind of idea what's going on. Well, basically, what happened is all my olfactory nerves all died. So now they're growing back, but they're not growing back evenly. So it causes these random, strange smells to happen. But on another side, it's kind of turned me into a dog, because I can smell things well before anybody else. Amazingly early before anyone else, miles before anyone else when we're driving. I'm like, whoa, do you smell that? And everyone's like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. And then, about 2-3 miles later, they're like, oh, God, if that's what you were smelling, we're sorry. But to me, it all smells the same. It all smells like rotting flesh. And I'm like, okay, but what is it? And then they'll have to tell me, oh, that was a skunk, or oh, that's this plant, or that's, whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, because I just can't tell what it is anyway. So what up, Nighthawk? How you doing, brother?
Oh, Nighthawk, hey.
How's it?
I know. I feel some kind of way about not being able to talk to everybody in chat. I was gonna get one of my iPads or something, but no internet or anything. So
what?
I can see the chat.
So do we know that? So I had to. Nikki told me.
Oh, hey, Holly.
I know Holly. Told me to pop on this for Holly.
Yes.
Because you can't see comments, so Holly's on here.
Yeah, that cologne and perfume and stuff.
Oh, okay, I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah. So. As far as our clairs and stuff, I haven't always been able to taste, and I don't have that one very often. And I'm thankful because the taste and the smell are two that I could do without those.
It can ruin a meal, that's for sure. Let me tell you. So
I could definitely do without those.
So have you guys done any investigating lately, or done any assistance to any people at all, or anything?
We're always into. We're always into
doing
that.
It, brother.
I don't know if we have any that we can really talk about.
Okay.
Most of them whole October for me, babe. There's that whole October.
Yeah, well, everything gets put on hold for October. Well, he does the ghost stories every night.
Ghost stories.
Yeah, we went to a haunted place and told ghost stories every single night. And we had
share with people who are just walking in. Jamie and Joe are on here, but just know that tonight's kind of what I call the open mic night. If you have stories, you did stuff, you came across stuff, you have questions about anything, you're curious about what's coming up, you have questions for anybody else, jump on here. I can have up to 10 people on here. God help me.
Yeah, because we'll talk about anything. We'll talk about starseeds. We'll talk about ghosts. We'll talk about your psychic abilities. We'll talk about.
Yep. And
we've had all kinds of people on.
And it's just kind of I've had on.
I speak pigeon.
Well, and there's a pigeon.
I can't see that.
So
I don't care about pigeons.
I speak pigeon. We have a bird problem over here, so I'm just putting him in another cage over here.
Oh, God. Well, pigeon is a. What would you say?
It's a dialect down here. They call it pigeon.
You have to give me credit for that joke, though.
Yeah.
Anyone who wants to come on here, hold on 1 second. Let me grab this again, because I know some people are jumping on late. But I'm posting in our comments what the link is to actually come onto the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it's hard to find once you scroll down, but it was really easy to just click on it, and it took me over to it took me to SteamYard, and then it asked me if I wanted to open it in Safari.
Right,
Yes.
right, Melody. Holy cow! What is going on with you folks over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got our volcano erupting and a blizzard as well on the Big Island.
Yeah, I thought I was in Nebraska when I started reading stuff. So hot 10 minutes, and then snowing, and 10 minutes later.
And then high surf advisory, and go surfing. You know, it's all good.
Yeah. Largest active volcano. Just go ahead, and you guys are getting ash warning right now, so that's outstanding. Got that for you.
Yeah, sending all the love and light. I'm gonna do some Reiki, but y'all don't freak out. I have some people that kind of trip out about that because nature has to do its thing. Well, Reiki is and all of the shamanic work and stuff that I do, all of that is for the highest and best. You can't send something that's not for the highest and best. So,
Right.
You know, so don't panic. I'm not going to stop an eruption that's supposed to happen.
Okay, I got.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's all.
I totally could.
I got a question, and this is going to be for really anybody. I know you two are on here, but it's really for anybody. And this is kind of different for me. But something has happened recently that I actually talked to Nikki about, and I was like, all right, well, what's going on? I had a dream. So we're going to talk dreams here for a second. I had a dream, but it was the exact same dream that I had about 6 months ago. I mean, absolutely everything was dead on the same. And it was very weird because I've never had a repeat dream before like that. I mean, I've had similar, but I've never had dead on. Everything is exactly the same type of dream.
Were you?
Yeah, I was me. I was me. And last time I was as well. Like I said, it's perfectly the same. Everything was the same. I know it. But I don't know why it's a recurring dream that's so clear and absolutely the same. I mean, I woke up and I went. Literally, I woke up and I went. I had the same dream before. I even know when I had. Like I knew when I had it. I knew everything else. I was like, all right, why am I having this reoccurring dream happen?
Was it realistic?
It was realistic and it was dangerous.
So in the dream, did you have like the places that you know in your dream were like let's say you're at home in your dream, but that home is not your home here, but for some reason you still thought it was home and it felt like home?
It wasn't just one location. I basically went through a series of locations, and it was simply like walking, and kind of like when you see a commercial and they kind of do like, okay, I'm walking through a field, and all of a sudden the screen behind it switches, and they're like, oh, I'm walking through a house, and it switches. I was able to do that in my dream, and all of them were different places, but they were all places that felt very familiar to me.
Well, that could be lots of things. I would ask my higher self, because I don't get too into my dreams are never like what you can do the dream interpretation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never like that. Mine aren't. And when I dream, it's usually used to, I had real graphic, real disturbing, almost like I was watching some sort of crime type thing play out. But I don't really have dreams anymore. When I'm dreaming, it's like I know it's almost real, or there's something more to it.
And that's what, like, I know my astral traveling, I know my I know my remote viewing, and I know my dreaming. And this was a repeat dream. It wasn't an astral travel or anything else. It was actually a dream. And the reason I know, so a lot of people don't know this, but in a dream, you cannot read and you cannot see numbers correctly. You just can't. Your brain doesn't allow you to, because you're not using that side of the brain. So you cannot, if you're sitting there reading a newspaper in your dream, you can have a newspaper in your hand, but you cannot read the actual words that's on there. If you can, it is not a dream. It is something else. Just so. What
about seeing people? I also heard that in a dream, it's a dream because everybody that you see in your dream, you already know. But the people that, like the background people, have no faces because
Right.
you've never seen them before.
Correct.
You don't see new faces in your dream.
Right. And that's true too. I normally tell people about, a lot of people have never heard the reading or the numbers thing, because even numbers look wrong. Like when you try to dial a phone or something like that, the numbers don't come out right. You know where the buttons are because you know what they are, but the numbers do not look like numbers. They look like hieroglyphs, or some form of writing. It doesn't look right. But so that's how I know when I'm astral travel, because when I'm astral travel, when I remote view, I can actually see and read
see it.
what I'm looking at. But in my dreams, I can't. And this is a very interesting dream. Yet, Holly, I know that, I just don't know what I'm supposed to be learning.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Just ask your higher self, because there's something there.
I'll even share what the dream is, and it's very interesting. Like I said, I shift to new locations in this dream just by simply walking, and it's almost like there's just a board that's flying by me that people have just put pictures on. But everywhere I go, I am protecting others. In my dream, and it's just like in life because I'm too dumb to know any better. I am basically, nothing can touch me to hurt me, but it goes after others, and I protect the others very rapidly throughout this whole series. And it's people I've known long in the past, people I've just met. I mean, it's from way back in stuff I remember from kids that I grew up with all the way through now. And it's just me doing a series of protections, like physical, like taking things down, not in a spiritual way, nothing else. Sometimes I'm shooting, sometimes I'm fighting, sometimes I'm just doing very, very bad things to very, very bad people to protect them. But that's what that dream is. In every single scene it flips me to, I'm doing something new to protect somebody or a group of somebody's.
Almost like possible outcomes for timelines.
Right.
Because right now we are folding timelines, and we're kind of catching glimpses of things that are folding in, and possibilities and stuff like that.
Thinking too.
Yeah.
So I asked you that question earlier about the places that were familiar, because I noticed for me, I would have dreams. I would have a dream where I know I'm home in my dream, but then I wake up and I'm like, what the hell? That wasn't my home. It doesn't look a thing like my home.
Right.
But I've been back to that place a dozen times in my dream. My brain doesn't randomly generate this random place as my home a dozen times. And so that is, I would describe that as like what Jamie said, it's another timeline or another interdimensional, going into another Joe in a multi-dimension. Multi-dimension theory kind of thing. And as Jamie said, they're folding timelines, which to me took me a while to wrap my head around. I'm still kind of getting it. Yeah. They're kind of merging all of them. Like, I don't know, the way I compared it to is I was a big World of Warcraft player. You play World of Warcraft?
My son is. I am not, but yeah.
So like they had like 100 different servers, right? And each server is a whole world on its own. And what they ended up doing was, because there were servers that were empty and ones that were full, is they started to combine the servers. And then now what they're doing is they have like groups of like 12 clusters of servers into one world that interact with each other and stuff. That's kind of how I saw the timelines folding.
Right.
But yeah, I think it could be like that. That could be past, present, future, all going into one. I mean, you're a protector, you're a guardian, right?
Right.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's and one of the other things that's really weird is I have an ability. I know other people have this ability, but I haven't talked to any yet. But I have an ability when I'm dreaming that I can consciously pay attention that I'm dreaming, and I can alter my dream in mid-flow. And
my oldest can do that.
And I'm like, nope, we're moving this because this isn't what I like.
My oldest can do that, and he acts like everybody's supposed to be able to do it. I was like, no.
And that's what I originally thought too. I originally thought that everyone's supposed to be able to do this. And then I also have a cool thing to where if I wake up, I can put myself back to sleep and start the dream off right where I left off. And I can continue that dream.
See, that takes concentrated effort from me. Both of those things.
Yeah,
it is possible.
Yeah.
I can only do that if I'm not dreaming. If I'm like the going back to sleep and go back to where I was if I'm traveling.
Yeah, for me it's kind of automatic. If I wake up and I'm like, nope, I want that dream back, I can put myself right back to sleep and go back into that dream. And I do the same thing when I alter. I don't have to. For me, it's automatic. If I'm somewhere and I'm like, nope, that's not the person I want to be looking at, I can change the person who I'm looking at and go, okay, that's who I want to be, who I want to put right here. And I can change that right away, and it's very automatic for me. So, and I
know what that's called, but I can't for the life of me think of it right now.
So all he's saying, what Spidey sense is telling me is that you're remembering a power you've had prior to this life, or you're possibly remembering your soul's purpose.
And see, and then I'm gonna agree with Holly on that soul's purpose thing, because some of the stuff that I've seen looked crazy and like, oh, I really don't want that to happen. And I was told, because I asked my higher self, because it didn't feel like a regular dream.
Right.
So I asked what was going on, and I was told these are possible outcomes as we try to get to because right now we're trying to raise the vibration and all that jazz.
Yep.
But to get there, it might take some heavy stuff. So I was told this is not, because there's free will, like what I'm seeing is only one of the possibilities.
Right.
So it's like having these almost, I'd say, apocalypse dreams.
You just had the Doctor Strange moment where on the Avengers, when he's like, I sat there and I went through 1 million outcomes and only one was the one.
There's only one. And it's like that. It's like that with us too. And we found the end result that's going to be allowed for us to get to it.
Yeah.
But there's all these other ways. It's like crossing the sea. How are you going to get there? We're going to get there. Right. But our way to get there is our choice. That's where our free will, which I say free will, because we have free will, but we don't. And that's complicated too.
Yes. The destination is set, but how we get there is our option.
Yes. Right. Right.
Yes.
So we can destroy ourselves if we want to. We're still getting to that. Or we can love each other.
Right.
It's our choice.
Yeah.
So
I had come across another, for what you're saying, I had another instance, and I know that a lot of us have had this instance to where I tried to post my advertisement, because I like doing these shows because, like I said, it brings everyone together so we have a place to talk. And I had someone say, no, we're not accepting you on our show because we already have someone who does that. So we're only going to have one of you that can post here that is allowed to post stuff like that. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, how is that working together? I'm like,
it's not.
While your selfishness is allowing us to grow. And
that's why you've noticed that I've started the little group, and I've got my page and everything, and I'm like, y'all, please come. And
it's all about helping other people.
And that's what that's why I do the show, and that's what I tell people all the time. Look, my page is not a private page. I don't care who posts on there. If you come on there and you're offensive, then sure, I'm going to delete your stuff. But
right.
If you come on there and you're doing it for the good of the community, post away. I don't care less.
And that's what I think, almost like, if you look at that, because all the members in my group are, we know them all.
Right.
And we're all the same, we're doing the same thing. So if it doesn't resonate with that whole coming together as a collective, then I'm not interested.
Yeah. It's been interesting lately for me because this is new. I sit on this side and I do the interviews and I do the hosting. But lately there have been more people coming to me asking me to be their guest. And it's very
cool.
That other side. But it's also cool because I get to introduce them to a whole different path that they probably didn't think of, or a new community that they aren't aware is out there. Because I am very good about when I'm a host, I advertise all of you. I don't care. I say, hey, look at a show coming up. I do this, I do that. I mean, there's one of my good friends. She has a show going on the exact same time as mine. And I advertised the hell out of her.
Is that the psychic lady?
That's April. April.
Yeah.
And the reason why, and she goes, And she even asked me, she goes, why do you advertise and share my stuff when we're
Why
the
not?
exact same time?
Why
And I
not?
told her, look, I go, and I explained it to her this way. I said, look, I go, my show is very informative. If people want to learn, they can come to my show and they can listen. I go, your show is literally helping people that are in crisis at that time by sharing with them things they need to know right now.
Mm-hmm.
I go, and your stuff is so much more important than mine is. I go, anyone can come on my show every week, and we're going to talk about relatively kind of the same community type items. But that person that reaches out to her is looking for that answer right there to help them get through the struggle. And she's like, okay, that makes sense to me. I understand. She goes, I just couldn't understand why you were not in competition with me. And she knows that I don't do competition, and she doesn't either because she advertises me as well out on Honda. In fact, there you go. Yeah, we all want to go check her out. It's April Boussette, and she's also has her own site called Haunted New Jersey. So go out and take a look at her.
I think I might be following that. If I'm not, I should be.
Yeah.
I knew she was from New Jersey.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I knew that.
In fact, folks, the two people, if you don't know these two over here, if you haven't met them before, that one up there that has a show called Red Ribbon Spirit Work, and this one down here has one that's called Hawaiian Haunting. So go out and check out their stuff. So
yeah, see, we're all
you can hit one or two or all three, and you win.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, and I think that if you just follow whatever, like for example, if we're all on at the same time and you felt like just follow whatever resonates with you, and you can't go wrong. And none of us are gonna get mad about it. And if somebody gets mad about it, they don't really belong in the until they've done their work.
Well, and the thing to me is, as you can witness right here, we're kind of all on each other's shows a lot, anyways.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even in the audience, we're in each other's audiences. So it's not like you're not going to come up.
333 right now. Sorry. I learned an
333 HST. It's contagious.
We're talking about right now, really. That just means it resonates. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the threes are going to be with the Christ consciousness numbers.
See, look, she knows a lot. Like me, I do the ghost stories, right? And I've had people ask me I've had friends ask me, people ask me, they're like, why do you advertise other people's companies that do ghost stories in Hawaii? And I'm like, because they come to the group Hawaiian Hauntings to hear ghost stories. They don't come to Hawaiian Hauntings to hear Joe's ghost stories. They like ghost stories, and it doesn't matter whose ghost stories, they're gonna win, all right?
Well, and there are several of them, and everybody does it differently. So it's not even, you could tell the same ghost story, it'd be 3 different ways. Yeah. So, hey, Debbie.
Debbie, how's it?
So, but the one thing that I find fascinating, and I kind of do this with your show, I do this with kind of everybody's show that's not right around me. I'm learning, not only am I just getting cool stories, but I'm learning about the different cultures. Because there's some stuff that Jamie, that you talk about that's like Louisiana and stuff like that and Southern that I don't know about. And Joe, you talk about stuff in Hawaii and stuff like that I don't know about. Or I just haven't, I may know this much of it and I want to know this much of it or this much of it, but I only know this much. So, and then you guys will expand on it. And I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I want to hear. So it's kind of cool. I do the same thing because I follow people out in Australia. I kind of follow worldwide just because it's to me, I'm a nerd, and I feed off that sponginess that I just get to soak in information. And it really, to me, it helps because when people ask me questions, it's just that easy for me to have an answer because I'm like, oh, I heard about this, and and I could talk a little bit about it. Debbie, hold on a second. I'll send you the link, or I'll just post a link out here. If you just scroll up in the messaging, I don't know if you can do that because I don't know if you can see it, but it's posted further up. But if not, let me just grab it again and I'll post it again.
What I think is interesting because I can ask Joe questions about because I am an energy reader, so I can kind of tell him what I'm reading basically and figure out what it is that because their culture is different and they have
Oh
different names and
Mm.
everything for a lot of different stuff. So
yeah,
it's like, well, this, and I can tell him things without him getting like offended. I'd be
well,
like,
I'm
it
hard to offend
feels
me.
like this, but
well, I have realized that a lot of the stuff that I learn from your Hawaiian culture, I don't like because I can't pronounce it.
hey, I'm working on that. I'm working on that.
I'm like,
I
wait a
was scared
minute.
to say his
The,
name for the
I'm like,
longest
wait a
time.
minute. There is 14 vowels and 2 consonants. How
no,
do I
yep.
say
No.
this?
Let me tell you one of the best advice I was given. Because I'm Hawaiian, but those things would drive me crazy. Okay,
Yeah,
and like my niece's name, my nephew. They're twins. Kaulukukui Maluna Okekai Malino. That's my
sure.
nephew. And that's good. But then what my teacher taught me, my kumu, was to force yourself to pronounce every letter. For me, I'd read the word like, oh yeah,
Right.
but he's like, no,
It's this guy.
train your brain to read every letter,
Yeah,
and
but you
that
can't,
makes it
you
so
say
much
that,
easier.
but those letters don't, you don't
They,
pronounce them
they
the same
don't
way that
naturally
we
go
do.
together. That's just wrong.
No, there it's
They
easier
do
than
after a while, they
English.
do
It's
Hey,
easier
after
than
a while,
English.
hey,
Every vowel has one pronunciation.
I have a
especially if
special
you're
announcement to
Hawaiian.
make. Can I make a special announcement really quick?
Uh-huh.
You all ready for this?
Oh God, what?
All right.
Yay!
Debbie's here.
Hey,
Oh,
Debbie, how's it?
how's that?
Look, I cheat everything. I just look at the word Hawaii and I know that the W is also supposed to be a V, and almost every single word you can pronounce just thinking how it would be pronounced in Hawaii.
Yep.
Literally, because
Every you're not sitting down with 7 different pronunciations of the letter A. There's only one.
Right.
Pow. Done.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier. English is very difficult.
Hey, I have been Englishing my whole life.
mm-hmm.
Try teaching English to Japanese people.
I am much more better at it than others.
Better.
Hi, Deb. What's going on?
How's
Oh,
it?
just
How's it?
crazy day. Just been doing a lot of studying. I just started my instructor course,
Melody.
and I've been like squinting and writing in a spiral notebook all day. So I'm sorry I was late.
Yeah, Melody says pronounce every vowel in Hawaiian. So,
She's at the state fish.
Oh no.
Try. Go.
I don't know the state fish.
Humu humu nuku nuku apua'a.
Uh-uh.
Doesn't even we learned that in grade school.
Okay.
oh my goodness,
Okay.
I am. Yeah, and that's why Melody
It's
said.
easy.
That's why Melody says State Fish Elementary School
Yep.
PTSD. Yeah.
We get songs
Yeah.
about
No.
it. Like,
You come down here, and I know Debbie can probably say this too.
What in
Um,
the?
let
Hold
me
on.
see you
Wait a
try
second.
to.
Wait a second. I have to. I have to put this up there first before I do this. What in the ass is that?
I just said the humu humu nuku nuku apua'a. That's our state fish. It's
I
also
would.
Well, we
one
have.
of the
I would
forms of
read that
kamapua'a.
if you wrote that,
Oh,
and
see,
I
that's
would
what I
read
was
like
gonna
that.
say, and I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna pronounce that.
If
Mm-mm.
We get that on shirts. It's so simple.
if you texted me that
Yeah.
and we were having a conversation, I would instantly call emergency services thinking you were having a stroke.
Some of our words down here are like we have some Native American mixed in with a whole lot of French and
Oh yeah,
all kinds of
yeah. You guys,
things like
drink way too much making up your languages.
Bubba and Boudreaux and down in Thibodeau and
Debbie, where you at?
I'm in New Smyrna Beach, Florida,
Okay,
y'all.
Mm.
y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Yeah. No, that's Texas. That's why
Pretty much.
I like that accent. I like the southern, like Davey's accent. It's just so much. It's simple.
I don't
It's
have
like
an accent.
Hawaiian is.
Wish
I
you
don't have an
did.
Yes, you
accent,
do.
y'all.
If you just said accent and you turned it into a 4-syllable word, you have an
Debbie has
accent.
an accent too.
I don't have much of a southern accent compared to a lot of people I grew up and went to school with.
Yeah.
Um, But I throw the y'all in there every once in a while.
I think I say y'all more now that I met Joe.
I think I say
swear.
y'all more now than I met Jamie too, because I throw it in every few sentences too.
Oh, yeah. Nikki,
All
what-
y'all. Now I will use all y'all. Now all y'all, shut your mouth.
I'll interchange y'all with the kind y'all. You
Kind.
know, yeah.
I lived in New York City for 4 years, and I could not say y'all.
Sorry.
You had to say use guys. Hey,
Use
what
guys.
use guys doing?
Uh-oh. Jamie just blacked out on us. Everything went dark. Oh, there she is. She's back now.
Sorry. I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah.
Something about the lights being out. I'm glad Debbie's on because she's in the dark too.
Mm-hmm. I had to light some candles because I was all in the dark and pink. I had to light some candles up.
I have a full flashlight here. I don't know. Our power went out. They're out there digging and doing something. And first the internet went out and then the power went out. I was like, well, they hit something they wasn't supposed to.
See?
I hope they're all right. So,
does anybody have anything coming up as far as paranormal's going on? Anyone going on anything? Any ghost hunting?
All the time, brother. Yeah, you can do it every Saturday night or more.
Yeah.
Well, he does a live every Friday night. I don't do. I'm spastic. I'm real sporadic.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
I know here right now a lot of people in my area are shut down simply because it's too cold. And
that ain't
the places we go to, they don't have heat because they don't have any power. So it's just cold, and we don't want to dress up in our snowsuits and our mucklucks just to go out there and go ghost hunting. So
go ghost hunting. Yeah, y'all need a good haunted house.
That is so much fun, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, you're not telling me. I'm built like a polar bear. I can go out in anything.
Yeah.
Y'all can have it.
Put me, dude, if I'm wearing like a jacket and a sweater, I got more room for equipment. You know what I mean?
Because they're men.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you. So just so people know how dumb I am, I'm pretty dumb. I may be smart in some things, but I'm pretty dumb in others because I'm going to do a polar plunge, and it's going to be my fourth.
Yeah. So my oldest was talking about, I forget what it is. It's a saltwater lake that they were calling a sea, and I don't remember what he was talking about. But what was it, Joe? You were on the phone when he was talking. And if you walk out ankle deep, it adds like a month to your life, or something. And if you walk out knee deep, it adds such and such amount of time to your life. But the problem is, it's freezing. So like literally, it's freezing. So nobody can do that. I was like, yeah.
Well, we're dumb enough over here. In fact, it's
random stuff that he comes up with.
It's the people that my military folks actually got a hold of me with it, because now that I live on a lake, they're like, hey, now that you have a lake,
now you can do it.
And I'm like, oh yeah? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, what do you want to do? And they're like, a polar plunge? I'm like, yes. And they were like, are you dumb enough to do it too? I go, absolutely. That'll be number 4 for me. And they're like, oh, you're really dumb. And I'm like, I know.
I am not made for the cold. I like
that sounds
sunshine.
Like
I need
just tie ropes around me to pull me up when my body goes into shock.
So I was telling people the last one I did, you kind of go over in a warming area, and you can sit in hot tubs and everything else and kind of get ready for it, because what you do is when you get out, you still have to walk 100 yards to get to the dock. And then you jump off the end of the dock, and the water is deep enough that you can go fully under when you jump off the dock. And they have ropes just off the side of the dock, so you can actually, with knots, you can actually pull yourself back to shore. And that's dumb. And
that sounds awesome. Where is this?
That one, well, the one we're going to do at my house is we're going to do right here in Nebraska.
Vacation time.
The one I did for that one, the one I did for that last one I did over there was actually in Greenland. So that was really
no.
Yeah.
JB's like, I'm not even gonna go to Greenland. That just sounds too cold already.
No.
Greenland was fantastic. I tell people, a lot of people are like, "Holy crap, that's stupid." It is, but it's, I don't know. I'm one that does a lot of dumb things because I just don't know any better. But I really enjoy them. It's stuff that I do, and I'm like, man, this is really cool, because how many people get to experience stuff like this? I tell people all the time around here. They ask for stuff, and I'm like, okay, I I do stuff that most people think is really dumb, or they think is really cool, or they think it's both. I played golf because I'm a golfer. I played golf to where I can hit into tomorrow, and playing another hole I'm hitting into yesterday because I'm on an international date.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool just to say.
I played on a golf course where you had to carry your passport because you're crossing between countries. And you had to get your passport stamped actually on the course. The 7th hole, they stamp your course. They stamp your passport. When you come back around on the other side on the 16th hole, they stamp it again. So you have to play in 2 different countries. So yeah, it's really weird how some of the stuff I do, but to me it's fun. It's just stuff out that most people don't get to do, or stuff I'll never do again. So why not take the opportunity right then to do it?
Yep.
You know. So, but like I said, normally the stuff that I do is really dumb. But
you know what? That's how I ended up in this course. I saw like a guy been following and friends with on Facebook and YouTube. I've been following him for a couple of years, and he's like, I'm gonna start, a school to teach, people how to be, how to, raise your kundalini, and how to, all kinds of energy work, healing, and stuff like that. And I'm only gonna accept like 50 students in, and it's basically you're gonna be beta testers for the school, so it'll be free. And I'm like, free? Bing, 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 that's me. And I'm like, okay. So I put in an application for it, and I was one of the first people he got back to, and he's like, you're in. I'm
you're
like,
in.
Oh, and now what? I've been in school since June.
Because I'm still kind of new to this world. You used the word that I have no idea what it means.
Kundalini.
Kundalini is like divine intelligence that
see, she's trying to tell me she broke up.
Your spine runs through your chakras, and it stays around the root chakra, which is down by your butthole. It's down by your butt, your root chakra.
Okay.
But as you clear out the different chakras going up the body, as you clear and heal and release, do some inner work to release that stuff, you can then raise the kundalini up through your chakra system and eventually have it come out through the top, which is really a portal that connects you to spirit. And so that's part of what I've been doing. It's been a lot of like inner release work, a lot of different breath work, different types of breath work, different learning a lot of stuff that I still am just really trying to pound in my head to learn. And now we just finished the course, and we just started Saturday our first course for instructors. So we're doing a month of instructor training, and then after that we take the test, and when we finish and pass the test, then we will be certified to teach it to other people and to do like Kundalini awakenings in other people.
Nice.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's probably the simplest definition of that I followed ever. That's awesome. Good job.
Yeah. A lot of people think it's energy, and it does run through your nadis, your energy channels, but it's really more divine intelligence. And you just have to clear. Almost everybody has like emotional attachments to traumas or stories they've told themselves, stuff that blocks each of their chakras. And with Reiki, you can clear those chakras, but if you haven't cleared out the emotional stuff and done the inner work, the blockages come back. So you really have to do the inner work on yourself, to release all your emotional attachments to all these traumas and stories and, hurts and things you really didn't like that happened to you throughout your life, so that you can have a clearer channel for the divine intelligence to rise through. And then the other thing that he's taught us, it's called the Great Spirit Healing Power, and it's basically using the Kundalini energy like Reiki, but instead of having to put symbols or anything on it, we just raise the Kundalini to our heart chakra and can send the energy out to anybody. And we're learning like there's a specific order as far as organs go. You do like the organs first in a specific order, then you do the 7 basic chakras, and then you do the whole body. And so it's just a little bit different, than Reiki. There's no symbolism, but it's similar as far as it's energy healing, but it's from
That sounds
source.
awesome.
Yeah.
I have another,
Awesome. Well, you're a Reiki master, aren't you?
I have another,
Crystal Reiki. Yeah.
Crystal
Yeah.
Reiki.
Crystal Reiki.
Crystal Reiki. Oh,
We just
get all
use the
kind of
energies
Reiki.
from crystals to
Well,
send Reiki healing to people.
That's
I
cool.
find that we all like, I mean, like we'll start out with say Usui because it's pretty just it's popular. It's common and then kind of lean into whatever it is that is our strong point. Like
Right.
mine is the angelic Reiki and
Hmm.
so I mean uh, it's interesting because you start off with this basic thing and then everybody does it differently and
Yeah, that's
it's
what's so
really
cool.
it is so cool. We did a Reiki share the other day, and I don't even know how because I had my eyes closed. I was the proxy, so we're sending distance Reiki, and
Mm.
everybody and Holly, if she's still on, she was there. Everybody had a different I swear, I think there were like 6 people around me, and everybody was different, and it was amazing because we all communicated really well together too. So if one was picking up on one thing one way, we all understood. And
Right.
that was really awesome because, like I said, we were all, every single one of us did it
yeah,
differently.
everyone was doing
Yeah.
something different. Yep, that's
Hmm.
what it says.
And
So
it
Just you
flowed
use the gifts
together.
you have,
Hmm.
we have a
We
Exactly.
each have.
we have another guest coming on,
Hey,
Oh, who?
bringing in Tanya. Hi,
Hey,
Tanya.
everybody.
Tanya, how's it? How's it?
I hear we're talking about Kundalini and energy.
Ooh.
Mhm. Yes.
I tell you, I
Just
thought
learning all
a
about
lot
it.
of my stuff was healed too, but I did some Kundalini work too, and I had flashes of stuff that I was like, no, I've already done my work in that. I'm done with that. And I hadn't, I guess.
Yeah.
It was not cool. It was not, it was
That's
very
the one thing
uncomfortable.
yeah, it makes you realize like you thought you released it and then something comes up and you're triggered again. You're like, oh
You're
man,
like,
I got I
oh.
gotta go through this again. But
I have a question
it's
about that.
really been great. It's really great because once you finally have fully released it, then you don't get triggered by that stuff like
Hmm.
hardly at all, or if at
Hmm.
all anymore. And it's just I call this year 2022 a year of initiation because there's just been so many things that would have broken me in the past. Literally
Hmm.
would have just I would have been on my knees in a ball crying, please help me. And this year has just been an initiation for so many people. I'm not the only one,
Hmm.
and a lot of people are going through this or are leaving here going home because it's
Hmm.
just been overwhelming.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I honestly can say that if it hadn't been for the stuff that I've been learning in the last couple of years, but especially since June, I really wouldn't have made it through with with the amount of grace and dignity that I did make it through with. But it's definitely been a year of initiation.
I have a question for everybody. So
Okay.
pardon my ignorance, but I'm learning a lot on my own show. So this is fantastic. Which is why I do these shows. So a lot of I've heard a lot of people talk about you have to do the shadow work, you got to do this, you got to clear your past, you got to come to terms and everything else. Not everyone knows how to do that. They don't even know how to start. And
Right.
I know a lot of times for me, I believe I am. I have come to an understanding, or I've come to terms, or whatever else. But then I have other people that either do Reiki on me or anything else. Like, hey, you have to go up and clean up your past because you're still having issues. And I'm like, but I don't know I am. I don't feel like I am, and I think I'm good.
Right.
So how do you deal with something like that when you're put into that situation? I mean, how do I go back and go, all right, where am I broken in this chain that I feel is all together and in good peace because I feel like I'm doing much better, and I feel like my that I'm basically open and to understanding and everything else. But apparently, others who see me and read me go, "No, you're still broken," and I'm like, I don't know how to start fixing that then. So where do
Well,
we go?
I'll jump in and just share what I've just been learning. What the way he instructed us and how we did it, we went through individual chakras, and we start at the bottom at the root chakra, which is based on basically survival, dependence, you know, fear, fears around things that support survival, like money, relationships, things like that. And you start with the root chakra and you work on all the fears that you have. Like I'm not sure, you know, I'm going to have a job this year. I'm not sure I'm going to have the money to pay all, you know, all this stuff. And you just, he taught us different ways to do the release work, different breath work techniques, and to then we started out with something easy with visualization and like putting it into a ball, you know, and then just as we got further along throughout the months, we learned different techniques that we were able to use once we had the Kundalini brought up to our brow chakra. We were able to then, you know, use that to help us release a little bit more easier. But there are free videos online that can help guide you into release work or shadow work, or and you don't have to use like the course I took. There's all kinds of articles and things like that. But I was in the same spot you were. I knew I had stuff to release, but I didn't have the first clue on how to just. Well, they just say let it go, but how do you let it go? I don't know what.
Well,
you know?
the thing with me is I don't.
Yeah. How do you let it go when you don't know what it is?
Yeah,
Right.
So I have a technique.
yourself.
I have a technique that may help with that. When I first started to do my energy healing, clearing, shadow work, I learned a technique called muscle testing or applied kinesiology, and it's basically something you can do yourself. Tom, you probably just tap into your intuition very easily like that, but it's really just a way to communicate with your subconscious mind, and you can ask your subconscious questions like, is this my emotion? Where did this emotion begin? How far back does this emotion go? Is it this life? Is it a past life? Is it generational? How many generations back does it go? And you can start to really clear and cleanse your energetic system by learning muscle testing or applied kinesiology. And then once you get good at it, your intuition will just start to pick it up, you know, naturally, and you won't have to do the physical motions of the muscle testing. But it's one of the best techniques or tools that I really encourage everyone to learn, because not only is it's free and it's easy and it's built into our body, but it also helps us as a mechanism of training wheels to get us to utilize our intuition.
Yeah, Deb, I understood what you were saying, Deb, but I have this one problem, and people who know me know that I have
It's work.
It's work. Well, it's two problems actually. Thanks for that. One of the factors that was work, but the second one is I don't really fear anything. I don't really care.
Well, then go to the next chakra.
Yeah, then move up, because that seems like you've healed your root chakra. If you don't feel anything, move up to your sacral chakra and see
because I've
if
never
you can
been
feel anything.
Because I've never been.
If you don't have any dependency issues between you and your wife, or you don't have any security issues about paying your bills or having money for the rest of your life, any fear around basic security in relationships or home or career, then move on to the next chakra.
Because I am one of those completely laid back that I'm like, I don't have that fear because it's just going to happen to where I'm taken care of.
Yeah,
that's good. You have a good grounded root.
I have that too.
And and that's really it. And I've been that way my whole life. When I lived on my own, and I was like, oh well, if I lose my house, cool. I'm just gonna go live on the beach somewhere. I don't care. I'll figure a way out. And I'll figure a way out because I just don't have that fear of anything.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing.
Most people, their main block is the heart chakra. They have energetic walls around their heart. So that would be, that sense of unconditional love, compassion, giving and receiving love. And that's usually the chakra that most of us need work on, because that's an area where we've blocked off.
And see, that's my superstar chakra. That's my
good. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, that's
it's funny because
really great one that I didn't have a whole lot of clearing to do.
I thought mine was good too, and I won't say that I had a lot of clearing, but I've opened it a lot. I think I activated the sacred heart chakra because I'm still working on that one. So if anybody knows something about that, that would be super, because I'm just getting bits and pieces of downloads on that one, but it felt different from just chakra work this one time, and it's been different since. It just felt it was open. It was more open, and that's the only way I know how to put it. And I've had a whole lot of information on the sacred heart chakra, but they're not explaining everything to me. It's like, here's your piece of the puzzle. That's all you
Is the
get.
sacred heart chakra the same as the upper heart chakra? Because there's your heart
Maybe.
chakra and then there's your upper.
High heart.
Maybe.
Yeah, because
I'm
that's the
not
green.
sure.
That would be Archangel Raphael energy. That would be emerald green. That would be the heart portal energy.
Yeah,
It's
that-
between your
that sounds-
thymus gland and your heart.
Mhm.
That's what a lot
It
of
does.
that's what a
I
lot of
can
people
teach you a
see
real
that
quick
color.
yoga
They
breath
see the green.
thing that you can do, Jamie. You just take your index fingers, you put it on the cartilage of your ear and just push in so you're not hearing outside noises. And you just say like you just and the vibration of that is a vibration that helps to open your heart chakra. It's called the bee breath.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's resonant tuning, and that's what the Egyptians used to do. They would utilize those humming noises or tunes within the body to activate the chakras, and that's why there's certain hums particular to each of the chakra points.
We use those and the chants like Vam, Yam, Ram, different chanting and different breath work. But that's just a simple one to help open your heart chakra. Just pressing the cartilage in your ear so you're not hearing the outside noises, and just and
I'm scared because it was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want it open anymore. It was great. It was just like, I don't know. This was a lot of love, but I didn't know I didn't have that. Yes, exactly. It was like, this is a lot, and that whole
you're like, this is too open. I need to close it.
And then
I'm
like, so why am I crying? Oh my god, it was crazy. But the whole portal thing, like, I know that's our people portal, whatever that means. So that portal, that is like, there's something to that. There's a whole lot to it. I don't know what it is.
We're all still trying to figure everything out, Jamie.
Man, I am so far behind. I can't even tell you how many chakras we have and what they're called.
Tom, I think you just had one massive Kundalini awakening last year.
That's a whole new avenue for you to explore, bro.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You're gonna reach the point where learning is just gonna be awesome, because there's a point where you've learned so much and you think you've known it all, and then when you meet someone who can actually teach you and challenge you, it's like, it's been 5 years since anyone's done this. Thank God,
Yeah,
learning is an important part.
Well, and that is, and I mentioned it before in a show, is that I've had one mentor that started me off, but she told me, she was, I can't teach you what you need to know because your vibration is too high, and you need to have someone that works in that very high vibration to help you. Mm-hmm. And so I've been like, okay, well, I actively searched for one, couldn't find one because I just don't know what the heck I'm looking for. Then I asked, my higher being, saying, all right, well, put me in touch with someone. And they went, nah, not yet. Just kidding. So here I am, a year and a half later.
I have a theory about that, because some of us are way showers and connectors, and this is our job, is to connect people. We don't need to really know. What we need to do is search for the answers, and in searching for these answers, we're going to support the other people, and we're going to come across the people who are part of our soul collective. Mm-hmm. So we don't really need to know. That's why, because if we need to know, we already know.
That's what we already know. It's already in
our we just have to remember.
Field. Yeah.
Right. And I honestly haven't had just one mentor. I've had just many, like Jamie. We share stuff with each other, and we're all students and all teachers at the same time. We're all learning from one another, and it's kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
I've taken a lot of different courses because I'm just a perpetual student. I love the learning process of it. And, the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know shit.
I know.
Yeah.
and that's where I love to learn. Like I said, I'm a nerd. I love to learn, but I want to learn through cliff notes.
Yeah, you want to do the easy version.
That's called spiritual bypassing, Tom.
Learning everything for dummies book.
But what's really weird is that I know I'm lazy. I mean, I'm self-identified as lazy. Jamie knows this because I said it many times on my show. I am, but I'm amazed at when it seems like I need to know something, it's there. I like instantly, and then all of a sudden someone goes, "Hey, something, whatever you want it to be," all of a sudden goes, "Hey, now we're going to throw this at you, and you need to learn how to do this." And I'm like, well, how come I've never been able to do that before? And they're like, well, and in my head, I'm just hearing because you weren't ready yet. I mean, like being able to see people's auras. I've never been able to do that before. Then all of a sudden I'm sitting there talking to someone. I go, holy crap, I can see your aura. She's like, no, you can't. I go, it's literally, I just saw your aura pop up. And she was like, what is it? And I told her. She's like, what's my husband's? And I told her. She's like, crap, you can see auras. How'd that happen? She goes, I've been wanting to do that for years. And all of a sudden you just walk into it. I'm like, I don't know how this happens. So
I think that's probably a vibration change. I don't know though, because I can't see auras. I don't care though.
I don't really
I have
either.
a lot of other stuff going on. So
I do too, but it's just weird that it just all of a sudden, I don't know why I'm supposed to use it. I can just see it.
Ask your dad.
There for a reason. Exactly.
I've done that. I'm like, all right, well, you show me how to do this. Now, what is it good for? And they're like, you'll figure it out. And I'm like, crap.
It's like maybe it's like a free trial. It's like, oh, you like this gift? You can go down that path. You like this gift? Go down. We're gonna give you a taste of everything.
In 1 month, they'll charge you $50 a month.
It's like a Black Friday deal.
Yeah,
just a fifth of your soul every month, and you're good. You know.
Oh yeah, this is just.
Tom, about the shadow work that you said earlier, I had two things that I don't want to forget that I felt like I really needed to say. Real simple was number one is that you can heal shadow work trauma many different times, the same trauma by many different means. Don't heal it once and it's done. Pow, the end. You might have to go back from another angle. You might need to go, clean it all up. And number two was learn to ask the right questions, and your higher self, you will know the answer.
Okay.
You don't even talk to your higher self.
I do talk to my higher self. It's not as often as you do.
You just don't listen.
If I need an answer, I don't like today. I don't feel like I have a headache, right? I have a headache or something. I don't feel that is. I don't think that calls for me to talk to my higher self and find out what that is. I think somebody coming to me with a prop. I know, but that's for me. It's like right now I'm at the stage where it's new. I'm not going to say like, "Hey, higher self, what's the weather going to be like today? How should I dress?" You know what I mean?
That's
it's more like when I need it.
Okay, but you don't. When you need it, you're not going to have the practice.
Well, and when you integrate your higher self within your physical being, you are always moving and speaking and being guided from your higher self, not like it's a separate out here type.
Right.
It's my mentality where like I never would pray to God for help when I was in the field and when bad things would happen because I'm the dummy putting myself there in the first place, right? I'm not going to go run to God every time something bad happens. I had a whole chain of command where I do the ancestors and I do the Omakua, then I do, you know what I mean? But then I talk to my priest and he's like, you calling on God with all of those steps. God's already there. I know it's something I need to get over. You can incorporate this into your life. For me, it's kind of like, I don't want to eat candy all day and enjoy the sweetness. I kind of want to have it as a little treat every now and then. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but
you can live your life full of sweetness your whole life and not have to have the bitter nastiness.
But then it's not sweet. You're having it all.
What if it gets sweeter?
Yeah.
What if the sweetness that you sense now could get sweeter?
That's why I'm always an open.
See, Joe, I'm the same way though because there's been a couple times that I've called on higher beings, whatever we want to call these, but for me, I'm the same way. Mine's a couple reasons. One is because I'm way too self-sufficient, and I want to do everything on my own. And two is because I don't feel like it's important enough to involve them. And that's just how I'm built too. Maybe that's a dude thing. I don't know, but that's how I am too. It's I don't know that I need to wake up every morning and go, okay, what is my, I need to ask you for help throughout my day to get me through my day, to show me what's right and what's wrong. I should be able to figure that out. I hope. Maybe sometimes.
Well, I felt a good connection with my higher self because like she said, it is part of you. So I'm an open channel all the time.
And
if it's not important, it doesn't get through.
Yeah, I don't have that good connection, and I don't know if maybe I'm just doing it wrong. Maybe
you do. Maybe that guidance is coming from your higher self.
So
it's like Voltron. You walking around as the little people, or you walking around as all the big things all together and forming Voltron. You walking around as Voltron the whole time. You know what I mean? I completely get. I completely get the whole benefits of that and all of that stuff. But it's kind of like, bro, that's overkill. You know, I mean.
Yeah, I think it's almost like, it's my emergency fund.
Yeah. It's like, these are the big guns. If something big happens, then I'm going to go do this.
So be there to stop me from getting into this car wreck. But I'm okay if I get sick food poisoning. So,
you have to be able to hear them when they tell you not to take that particular route that's going to get you in that car wreck.
I don't like listening to other people,
they're holding
even if it
you
is
up
myself.
in a way that seems like an irritability. Well, damn it, why is this holding me up? You know, and then 5 minutes later, you drive past,
you find out,
and there's a car wreck, and you're like, "Thank you, I'm sorry, I was irritable."
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason. We don't always understand it at the moment. It's always hindsight that gives us understanding of what we went through at a particular time, but there's always a reason, and whether you're understanding that it's coming from outside of you or from your higher self or not, it doesn't really matter, as long as the protections and the lessons are getting through,
and gratitude.
It's basically
for
like
it
you're
immediately.
the ocean. You're the ocean, but you're only utilizing one little drop.
Yeah,
that's the analogy. It's
I'm enjoying
your
being
higher
the one
self is
little
the
drop.
ocean, and you're in it as a drop of water, but you're only utilizing a drop of water when you have the entire ocean to utilize.
Yeah, and that is, I mean, for me, I know that's my fault. I mean, there's no other way to say it. It's just because I don't practice it, and I know this. There's a lot of stuff I don't practice that I really, really, really should.
Yeah, I know.
And unfortunately that's the way I'm built, because again, to me, I think I have the belief that it is there when I need it. Most everything I have developed so far since my awakening, I don't practice any of it, but it's always there when I need it. And I don't know if that's just my belief on that is because I've been doing it in past lives. That it's just readily there. It's just,
and you know what? You'd know some of that if you would talk to Holly.
Thanks.
I kind of like being a 3D human. I don't want to be an ascendant being and all of that stuff. And
you notice how Jamie called us both out here, Joe?
I'm Brian. I'm just tone deaf to it already.
And I'm the one over here going, no judgment. You do you, boo.
Yeah, you do you, Joe. You do you. Yeah.
I understand how badass we could all be.
It's integrating the higher frequencies with the third dimensional frequencies. It's really just learning.
I like how badass the one drop of water is versus the whole ocean. I'm the kind of person that'll take the one drop of water, stick it under a microscope, and spend a lifetime exploring it because it's cool.
Well, there you
go. When I get bored, I'll bring another drop of water in, and
that's
then
that's one drop of water that's going to go upstream, and everyone else is going downstream.
Yeah, exactly. But then,
I mean, it's really just the concept of fractals. Yeah.
This conversation is going downstream really quick.
Turn it back upstream, guys. Before we turn into a gas.
So
I'm glad to know I'm not the only one that struggles with this, because Jamie tells me this all the time. Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing this?
I do not say that.
So cool.
I say that when you come to me and you're because you feel some kind of way about it then. Because only because when you come to me and you're like, oh, what? But I need you to do this. And I'm like, well, you could do this yourself.
I hear you, Jamie. I had people do that to me too. And it's like, I want to encourage you to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
But
And while he's over there,
I'm the storyteller.
You know what I learned over the last couple of years? No. Google it. Google it. No, I'm sorry. I
Oh,
don't
it's not
have
like that.
time
I'm
right
not
now.
that bad.
Boundaries.
Google your higher self.
Yeah. Google
Google your
it. I
higher self.
guarantee you'll find stuff on your higher self on Google.
Oh, we should totally do that
Talk
and
to my
post that
higher
on our
self.
page.
My higher self likes to laugh at me and point fingers. Okay, I've talked to my higher self and seen my higher self, and every time it's just laughing at me.
So if that's the case, then apparently my higher self is squirrels on the golf course. Because when I hit a bad shot, they are out there and they are just going nuts at how bad my shot was. So.
Next on Spiritual Grins and Red Ribbon Spirit Work, you're going to see Google higher self connection.
Google the higher self connection.
Wiki says. Wiki says.
Right.
Godgle.
I'm going to look it up.
Godgle.
Right.
You know, you give help to people that are willing to do the work on themselves. But the people that continuously just text you or call you or over and over that want you to do their work for them or teach them, and you spend the time and the energy to explain, the tools that that have been helpful for you, that could be helpful for them, but they're the ones that have to do the work. And you get to a certain point where you realize this person just doesn't want to do their own work. They want you to have a magic wand and go poof, and then they're all psychic and all knowing and everything's perfect. And that's
you
not
can turn
reality.
them on and off, and you're a master over it.
What?
Lucky for you, Debbie, I'm too lazy to even text the people to ask for help.
I mean, literally,
I'm surprised you even have this show, Tom. If you're that,
I know.
I think the
Why are
show's
people
awesome.
asking me to be a guest on their shows? I
I think your
Look,
show's
that's
awesome.
where you turned it around. Now you're a guest on other people's shows, so you don't even have to do your own. You can just,
No, but I like doing my own show.
But your own is awesome.
Like this.
Yeah.
So
and it's a way for you're learning from all of these people that have put in all this work and have learned and can teach you the tools that will help you once you're ready to do the work for yourself. And some things you're naturally getting without having to do any work, but there are other things you will have to put in some effort to get to a certain level on.
And that's what I try to explain to, and that's, I know that, so normally my writings, when I advertise my show, are paragraphs, not just a couple of sentences. So I know people don't really get to the end of it. But the end of it explains the reason I do the show. And it's because it's trying to grow the community. It's trying to have people that are just starting out realize we have places to go that we can ask questions, and we can ask for guidance, and we can ask for help. And we can talk amongst each other and go, look, I don't know this. Maybe someone else out there does. If not, then at least we know we're in this boat together and we're not alone.
That's a big thing too. I think people just knowing they're not by themselves, because what I have seen, the pattern seems to be a lot of us have done this by ourselves for a long time. And then, in our closets where we weren't talking about it.
Right.
Right. And now here we are.
Not a shy, quiet person, obviously. So I'm just like, hey, let's do a show.
And then it's really interesting because then you have people that have not had this going on. And yes, Melody.
Yep.
We have people like Tom that has never had, like I've seen dead people all my life. Tom hadn't always seen dead people. And so it's like, what is this? Some people are actually scared of it. Not Tom.
That's not my first one. I went, that is so cool. And I can hear her. This is amazing.
And see, I think everybody should have that reaction too, but I've always seen them. So
yeah.
But everybody does not have that same reaction. So
yes. Yeah, a lot of people when they first get their first glimpse of anything, like they jump and they're like, oh. And a lot of one of my biggest worries is that when this happens and people get that first they get that first taste, they jump and they run. And they jump and they run and they don't come back to it. It's
Yeah.
like they do an instant shutdown. They're like, nope, I don't
Mhm.
like what I saw.
Oh,
Or,
my house is haunted. Joe,
Yeah.
come bless it. Get them
Right.
out.
Get this out of here. Trying to understand that it's a growing process, or it's
Mhm.
an opportunity, not a curse. You know, it's or it's something that could turn into something positive.
Exactly.
And people don't understand that.
Exactly.
They instantly shut it off and go, nope,
Mhm.
not dealing with this. I can't physically touch it, and it doesn't make sense to me. So we're just gonna go ahead and shut it down right now.
Oh, and it's even worse if it did physically touch
right.
them.
Yeah, that's what's happening to me.
And
I don't really want them to touch me either. Sometimes it happens, but usually they don't get into my bubble at all.
and
It's still freaky to me.
The good ones do for
But
me.
that's one of my fears, is that's what's happening to some of the people. Instead of using it as an opportunity or trying to learn from it, kind of like a lot of us have, they just and they never realize what potential they have in themselves because they lock it down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, to me, that's actually sad. So
Hey.
It is, but I guess that is their path too. So I mean,
Don't do that.
we can't really.
Yeah, because that happened to me early on in life, and I shut it down, and then I opened it up later on after I was more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't so scared, when I was
Mhm.
seeing dead people everywhere.
for people who have never known, we are not seeing an apparition behind my wife. This is Nikki.
Hey guys,
So,
I gotta dig out, guys.
all right,
I got
brother.
a lot of people over here now. So it was a pleasure. Nice seeing you guys. Yeah.
Bye, Joe.
Appreciate it.
Good one.
See you later, Joe.
Aloha.
Hi, Joe.
Oh, and I am in so much trouble. I lost the only
Why?
testosterone person in the group.
Oh no.
Well, I'm well balanced with both my
I'm pretty
masculine and
comfortable.
feminine, so I can step
Yeah, I
up
was
for
just
you.
gonna say I'm pretty.
Hold on,
Yeah,
I
I'm
had
pretty
eight older-
comfortable with both.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say.
had 8 older sisters. I can do this. So
We're healing your feminine energy.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. He can pick out my nail colors.
yep,
He can pick out my clothes.
I do.
So
I was-
yeah.
I was
See?
You
We
get
went
2
to-
thumbs up for that.
So I'll even tell the story.
Mhm.
I'll even tell the story. We went to
Maurice's.
Maurice's out here, and women's clothing stores for anyone who doesn't know. And I help her pick out her clothes, and she's in the changing room, and some other guy's there with his girl, and she comes out and she's like, "Well, what do you think?" And he's like, "I don't know." And I go, "No, that is not the right color for your skin tone. Hold on a second. I'll go for him. I'll bring him over." And I've been asked numerous times to become an employee for that store to help women pick out clothes. And I'm like,
He needs to work in like New York where he can really make some money. Like
Yeah.
like
but yeah, I do it all the time. I don't care. I
It's
pick,
probably because you see their aura.
I pick out the jewelry. I pick out their clothes. I can help them with their nail color. I don't care. I even know what hairstyle you
I
should
take
have.
him shopping with
So-
me all the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
so you want to go to
Mhm.
this with me? And he's like, suppose. I'm like, yeah, come choose my outfit.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't care. So, like I said, 8 older sisters. They took me around and said,
Whew.
I always went shopping with them, and they taught me everything. They taught me, here's how I should dress. Don't mind what I'm wearing now, but they taught me this is how you should
I
dress.
like the Superman.
Pay attention to what women are wearing. Pay
What their
attention.
nails look
Pay
like.
attention to their nails. 3 Days Grace, that's a good one. But pay attention to their nails. Pay attention when their hair changes. Pay attention to their shoes, and comment and compliment them on it, because it's the very small things like that that is very subtle, but they appreciate the fact that you paid them.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
So
Yep.
yes, so I have that built into me too. Who knew?
Or actually,
So-
about a month in, go, are you sure you're not gay? When we're dating, like a month in of dating, I was like, are you sure you're not gay?
Yep.
You sure? Because
Mhm.
I got some tendencies here.
But then she realized,
Metrosexual.
Yes.
but then she realized, and then started seeing the other side of me. She's like, nope,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, I have lights! Yay!
You got power.
I'm excited.
I just thought she had a really good idea all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
yeah.
No. My
Your
lights
higher
came
self
on.
is connected.
Aha.
She's like, oh, I get it now.
Oh, my cord doesn't reach though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, is there anything else you want to you want to chat about? We're about almost an hour and a half into this conversation.
Hour and a half in. I don't know. We didn't talk about a whole lot of metaphysical stuff, I don't think. But
We didn't, but you know, that this isn't. Just
we had a lot of fun.
I mean, if this is something that the audience like and we like doing, we can post these.
That's a new one. That's
yeah. Someone's asking if I can get a chance, if they can get a chance with Amber Heard. So we'll go ahead and block that one. So
Bill Clinton.
Gone. So.
That's very
Yeah,
random.
you don't have that up very often. Unless you get it.
I actually had a couple last week. I had to delete the same guy twice.
Really?
Yeah, he was advertising his sex site, so I had to block that one a couple of times. And
interesting.
yeah, every once in a while I got to keep an eye on what
see, I think
messages are saying.
you get them deleted before we see them.
I think
That's
so.
what I was gonna say. I think
so. Yeah, because I see them pop up instantly, and I instantly go reach over and just delete. I don't need that.
I don't know how you multitask like that.
Yeah, I can't even see what's like.
You guys, we go to a restaurant, and Tom can listen to like 3 or 4 tables and me at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll be talking, and he starts laughing, and I'm like, "Who are you listening to?"
Yeah.
He's like, "This table that's over there. They're talking about this." You know, like
It was funny because the first couple times that happened, we were sitting there talking. And I get quiet because I'm just listening. I'm listening to her. I am listening to her. But then within the conversations, I start to laugh. And she's like, what are you laughing at? I'm like, oh, there's them over here. She goes, you're not even listening to me. I'm like, but you just said this. And she's like, oh, wait. Okay, I did say that. Okay, you can continue.
But yeah. So
The fun is when you're listening to 2 different conversations, talking, and you're getting stuff from your guides. That's hilarious at the same time. And you're like,
it's
all these voices.
That's what they call bipolar disorder.
For me, that's the bad part.
I'm not depressive ever. Sometimes I'm a little manic, but I'm just my main guide is just very funny, sarcastic, and snarky at times, but always popping inappropriate things into my head. And I think that's where I get my weird sense of humor from, is from him. And I didn't realize that most of my life. I thought it was my own. It was me, and now I realize, oh, it was you all this time. But, it's funny when you're multitasking in multiple conversations, and this it's really in the last 2 years. It didn't start just this year, but my telepathic abilities, I guess, are growing. The more time that I spend with somebody, or the more I'm around somebody, I'm just picking up things other people are thinking before they get it out of their mouth. I already know what they're going to say, and I've caught myself a few times. I have to stop myself, because I'll answer them before they.
I don't realize
say it.
They haven't said it sometimes,
right.
But I think some
I'm
of this
hearing
is
it in my head.
I think some of this is where we're becoming more transparent in communicating that. We're getting ready to communicate less with words and more with our empathic, our literally empathy, where we're feeling what each other's feeling. And it's not like the hive mind, like we're all going to be little zombies, but I think that our psychic stuff is really, and it's starting with us because we're already okay with it. Ish. Whew.
Yeah.
Ish.
I mean, my boyfriend's great with it. He's picking up stuff off of me too, and we both, we'll both start laughing at the same time. Neither one of us said anything out loud, and then we both say it at the same time. So it's like we're really connected that way. But certain people, like my mom, I'm connected tight with her, but she doesn't have the same type of sense of humor or the patience level that either one of us have. And so if I say something before she said what she's thinking, but I'm hearing it in my head and I already know the answer, she gets a little bit like, would you just let me talk?
Right.
Sorry, I thought you did. I heard your voice in my head.
I've done that since I was a kid, and I always got yelled at for over talking, but I think it's because I was already knowing what they were going to say.
Right. Yeah.
That's the
radar. Learning this in your older years, though. I mean, I had some stuff that came through when I was younger, but I didn't really start to allow myself to open back up till I was 48, I think. 47, 48.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a whole new learning experience, you know, for me.
It is. Well, it is for me. I didn't start doing this until I was 49. I'm 50 now, so just been a little.
See,
When I
I've
walk in,
always heard, but it's really ramped up in the last few years. It's because, but my family has always kind of been in tune, a little bit, not like we do here, but so I just really didn't realize not everybody did that, you know, at first. And I was like, what, why can't you just hear what I'm thinking?
Right.
You know?
Right.
But lo and behold, not everybody can.
You know what?
And I think one of the problems with me is that a lot of people can't understand what I'm thinking because there's so many voices that they don't know which one is they're over talking each other, and they're like, "That's just the jump."
Well, you have to be like that ADHD.
That's all your squirrels on the golf course.
Let me just say though, as a high school teacher, I am glad that I don't hear everybody else's voices. I teach.
I
used to have to do medical
classroom
records
full
in
of
the
them.
morgue, and that was a lot of activity, talking.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't want to know. I don't want to hear.
They think you're gonna listen to them and help cross them over, and
that's what I
all of
started to
that.
learn how to do.
That's
But
funny.
it was mostly confusion because it was in a trauma center, so it was more they were detached from their physical body and they were confused. So that's what I was picking up on.
That's because I used to work at a cemetery, so.
Oh yeah, there you go. Very similar. Very similar. Like funeral homes, coroner's offices, all that stuff.
I don't remember the name of the show, but it was on like the Learning Channel. It wasn't the Long Island Medium, but it was a heavier set lady with dark hair, and it came on like 2 years ago, and I only saw one season of it. But she was able to communicate with like people that had lost their ability to communicate. She could go in and just telepathically communicate with them. So if they were like comatose or they had been in an accident and they were, in bed and they couldn't talk or move anymore, she could still communicate with them, and the family could ask questions, and she would answer. She would talk to the, get the answers from the person. I'm like, that would be something amazing. That I would love to learn to do that. I think that would be great because there's so many people that lose their ability to communicate from either Alzheimer's or a neurological disorder, an accident. It would be really amazing if all of us would just get that ability.
I think I think we're headed towards it to an extent. I think so. Because there are a lot of like with autism and stuff like that, they don't communicate necessarily either. And I don't think that it's them that needs to learn how to communicate with us. I think we're going to have to, learn to communicate with them
because they're at a higher frequency.
Exactly. And I think we're getting there. It looks crazy, but I think we're getting there.
If you can build that connection with your boyfriend or your mom, you can definitely. It's just an energetic connection. It's like making a phone call.
Yeah, I'm fine with any of you connecting with me. Just make sure during my time I'm not sleeping at night.
Never without permission, dude.
No, I'm busy at night sleeping in the astral realm.
If I visit in the astral realm, it was not on purpose. Definitely not. I've learned to try to go to set intentions before I go to sleep because I really want to sleep.
Yeah.
I would like to be busy too, as long as it doesn't interfere with my rest. So that's cool if they can do it without interfering with rest.
So what I would like,
otherwise,
I'm just throwing this out there for anybody. What I would like to do, because I have become pretty good at my astral travel, because I can do a self-hypnosis to put myself into that state and just let myself go to sleep and go where I want to go. I would like to experiment and try to see if we're able to meet up in an astral travel, in an astral plane, as it's planned.
So, I am going to say I am sure that is possible. I do shamanic work. Two of the people that were in one of my classes saw my field that I meet in. It's got my tree that's, to the lower world. And so there's a field and there's like flowers and there's fairies a lot of times and stuff
Right.
like that. But I mean, I hadn't really described it quite like that. And we were doing a little, like a little gathering thing. I want to say it may have been one of Holly's classes. And two of the girls starts describing my room, my field. And I'm like, you know, they were in my field. And I've had other people when I was doing like, because you do, I don't know if anybody knows anything about soul retrieval and stuff, and I do that. And one of the girls that I was working on some soul retrieval, that's where I found her. And I think it was a similar field she had. So I think that we could do it.
Oh, we totally can. I do it with my friends, but be advised that you might meet in the astral realm in a different body. Like you're in a different, you could be a galactic, you could be a light body, you could be an animal. Yeah. There's a lot of varieties that you
I just want to try to plan it with someone. Like say, all right, so tonight we're going to try this, kind of try to plan it out and try to say, all right, so that would be interesting to do, I think, for an experiment to see how that works.
I'll try it with you after the holidays because I am slammed with this. I'm serious. I'm slammed with this course and so much stuff right now that I haven't even had time to meditate or try to astral travel. And literally, I'm just...
Well, mine just happens. Like now when I go to bed. So some people have heard this, some people haven't. But when I go to bed, it's really weird. I am very specific when I astral travel. I have to be on my right side. Mm-hmm. And I can only astral travel when I'm first going to sleep at night. Mm-hmm. If I wake up in the morning and I try to go back to sleep, I try to astral travel, I cannot put myself back into that state. Mm. I go into what I call the color state, which is really weird because in the mornings what happens is when I try to put myself back to sleep and I focus, all I get is swirling, swarming colors. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like a sand thing. Like you can flip it and all the sand rolls down and it changes colors and everything else. That's kind of what it's doing in my head. But it always seem to be associated to angelic colors that I'm seeing when I do that.
Nice.
And I can identify what they are, who they are and everything else by their colors. But when I go to bed at night, I can put myself in that state and I'm like, okay. And sometimes I just free will it. I'm like, look, I don't care where you take me. I just want to astral travel. Other times I'm like, all right, I want to go find a place that looks like this. And I can astral travel somewhere that looks pretty damn close to what I'm asking for. So I think it would be interesting if two of us could do that together and have a description. Like one of them I went to, it was actually a diamond planet. It was a planet just made, and mountains and everything else, but everything was all diamonds. And it's one of them that I like to frequent because when I go around it, it's not just a white diamond, it's just a blue diamond, it's just all the other different colors diamonds. So it's really cool to fly around and astral travel too. But it would have to be something like that I can kind of help describe, or someone else can describe if we want to get at their location to where.
Are you sure they're diamonds?
Yes, I am. Yes.
They're not crystals, just crystals.
They are actual.
They're definitely diamonds.
Yes, they are actual diamonds.
Wow.
So, yep.
Yeah, it does help if before you do it, the group or however many people, to discuss specifically where you want to go. When I did it with my group, we went to a ship, a craft, to the spa, because I always said I wanted to go to the spa, the med beds. And so we visualized that. And we've actually done it at sleep time and also in meditation. We've done it too. So, but like I said, when I got there, I was in human form, but one of the guys was in a white lion form. And I'm like, whoa, so it's, but it's really based off the person and how they, it's a part of their subconscious and how they, kind of see themselves. But yeah, before you do it, definitely come up with a plan of say, okay, this is exactly where we're going to meet. Kind of like when you do the CE5 protocol, the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind protocol, you want to specifically, use coordinates or, exactly where you want to go. So that way, where to meet up, because there's infinite amounts of places that you can meet up, right?
Yeah, and that term
y'all are way better than I am.
Let's meet at the taco shack down the road.
Right. And
on another planet in another galaxy.
Yeah, that term you just used, I'd never heard that before. The CE5. Nope.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I haven't heard of that.
Oh, CE5. Okay, this is a new thing, guys. So CE5 is, okay, there's different close encounters with extraterrestrials, and Stephen Greer came up with a protocol called the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, and that's basically when we, as humans, make contact with extraterrestrials. And I have a group here in North Idaho where we get together and we use the CE5 app that Stephen has created. And basically what it is, kind of like how Debbie talked about different tones, it sets off different tones that, and then you meditate and you call in craft. And so what we do is we meditate to call in high frequency beings or craft, and we've had some amazing experiences doing the CE5. But yeah, look it up. You can get the app, and then you can do it. I actually do it myself. Sometimes I'll sit out in a park and just do it, and I'll see ships and you know that they're not satellites. You can have a satellite tracker, you can get that stuff on your phone, but it's really key when they power up, because that's when, you know, I had a few friends who had never experienced CE5. And we had one ship that just powered up so bright in the sky, and then it powered down, and then they got excited and they're like, power up again, power up again. Well, that thing powered up 3 more times. Oh, wow. And I've never seen they were like kids in a candy shop. I mean, they were so excited to see the craft interacting with us. And for, you know, that night we had only had one craft interact because we were actually here at a local location where there's supposedly an underground ET base in the water. And so of course that's where I picked, because I'm like, well, ETs are going to be there, you know, let's go there. Well, the military is also keen on when you're doing this kind of stuff. And here we are on the side of a mountain blasting these tunes with our Bose speakers, you know. Well, within minutes after that light up of that craft, we got a big old plane with a big old chemtrail that came right over us. And then the sky got dark and we didn't see much after that. But we're going to plan some more. I've done them several times. And being out here out west, the stars are so, you know, amazing. But you can really do it anywhere. So yeah, look it up. Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, Stephen Greer, Greer.
I know, I've heard of him.
Got a movie, I believe it's on, could be Amazon or even that Tubi.
Yeah.
It's called Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Check it out. He's done a lot of documentaries about it and stuff.
I want to know what's the difference between calling on them and just seeing like the Arcturians, because I see Arcturians and Lyrans and Pleiadians, reptilian. I have seen some reptilian. When I'm working, I mean, they're not coming in a spacecraft. They don't all come in a spacecraft.
Some of them are inner Earth too. Yeah. So it's like, we've been programmed to look in the sky, but some of them will come, even during the CE5, they can come out of the water. They could come out of a mountain. We've seen them come out of the mountain before too. So it's really anywhere. And I personally believe that depending on what being you're trying to contact, it's all based off of a frequency. I had a friend who built a copper pyramid that we all sat in and meditated in, and we would play certain frequencies. So we'd play 432 hertz, 528, 639, 936. Well, as we played them, different beings would connect with us for certain frequencies. So 528 Pleiadian, like the upper frequencies, like the 900s was more Arcturian, and then the 432s were more Andromedans. So I do feel, depending on what frequency you're tuned into, will be the experience that you could have. So if you're in a fearful state, you could probably attract a reptilian or grays just because you're in fear. But if you raise your frequency, you could have a different.
I haven't really had bad experience with the reptilians so much. I did have some weird stuff with some grays, but it wasn't it was just a whole different thing. It wasn't bad,
but they weren't bad.
And not all of them are bad. I think too, we assume just because they're reptilian they're bad, you know, but you know, not it's like humans, you know. There's some good and there's some bad.
So
well, maybe after the holidays we can try doing that, like maybe
I'll have to practice, because y'all are way better at, like, I'm like, if I happen to do it in my dream or something, and I don't think I always knew I was doing it. I didn't think I was doing it before. So now I'm just like, oh wait, I have kind of, so let me do it on purpose. So I'm
Yeah.
a newbie.
Yeah, I need to practice actually trying to do it on purpose, because usually mine have happened when I'm like meditating and just lift out of my body and go. I just zoom, you know,
Mhm.
or when I'm asleep. I've never like purposely just said, okay, I'm going to try to astral travel. So that would be something I would need to, you know, probably meditate
Yeah.
to get
I
myself.
haven't done it with like consciously, literally consciously. I've done it asleep
Yeah.
by just setting the intention. So
Yeah. I don't know. Mine was, everyone's like, so can you astral travel? I go, I don't know. Like, you should try it. I'm like, okay. So I tried it. And I was like, yep, I can do that. And they're like,
well, my thing is, my jam is remote viewing, and I'm like, Tom, why would I want to do the work on it if I can do this?
yeah.
Why would I want to do the work to do that?
And the thing that confuses me is I can astral travel like that, and I can to anything. Remote viewing, I can do it like that too, but I only see this much of it. Like, I can't see that. I can remote view to a location, but I can't force myself or teach myself to pull far enough away that I can see everything of where I am. So I know I'm in a location and it's a remote view compared to an astral travel, because I can actually literally feel the difference when I'm sleeping. And when I remote view though, it's everything is, for me, it's very like I'm standing right there, and it's very much, and mine is mostly in wooded areas, forested areas, nature areas. I've been in just wide open fields. I've been in forests. I've been where I can just see the tops of the trees, but I can't force myself or teach myself to zoom out. So I can say, okay, I am on this mountaintop located in this state. I can't do that. I can only get a small glimpse. But astral travel, I can do everything.
I can't either, because to be able to do that would be great, helping search for lost, search and rescue. Yes. I can't do that either. I know I found this person and I saw signs, but I could not get my vision like up far enough to read the stupid street sign.
Right.
And that's so frustrating. It was so irritating. I got 5s out of it, and I found some intersections where that was relevant, but you can't use that. It's like, it's useless. I'm like, what is this? This is useless information.
Yeah.
So I'm not good enough to do that either. But I can go back and forth between past and present on some of them.
That's cool.
No clue.
And it's hard to tell. Well, try it, because sometimes it's relevant.
Right.
Why I'm seeing it as a past event rather than actually viewing the present right now. But I also do that here. Like, if I'm reading energy or I'm reading an area, I can also, kind of see the residual energy. So I would think that's probably why I can do it when I'm remote viewing.
Well, remote viewing and astral traveling we're doing it in spirit. We're not in our bodies.
Right.
It's out of body type experience, and spirit is not limited by time or space. So it's just the limitations that we have in our own minds that people have told us like our whole life. You can't do this. You can't do that. Once we break past those limitations and say, I can do anything, that's the hardest part, is like, for me, the self-doubt, the limiting beliefs that others have, conditioned in my life.
Well, because we don't really see them until we step back, and it's like, I don't have to think that way.
Yeah, in hindsight, you see that you had limiting beliefs before, and that you've stepped past those, but there's still certain ones, like, I can't zoom up high enough to see the street sign. Yes, you can.
I know I can. It's just, it's so frustrating. I can't get past the.
Yeah, it's just sometimes we just have that belief is so strong within us that we can't do it, that we don't, and it's just breaking through that. That's the big part, breaking through those limitations, realizing we have unlimited potential.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where my frustration comes in, because I don't know what it is, but like I said, astral travel, I can pick anywhere I want, or I can just go anywhere. And once I'm there, I can move around freely. But for some reason, the remote view locks me down, and that's, I think that's why my problem is about what you're talking about, Jamie, is past or present, or because all of my stuff relates to nature. There's nothing around me that helps me identify past or present. So that kind of
sometimes the only reason that I know is like one of the times I was walking on a road, and when I looked down, it was dirt instead of pavement, and I just knew that it was pavement. Other than that, it just looked like a dirt road. Yeah. And like I said, I knew where I was, should have been pavement at this time. So,
yeah.
And then now from there, I was able to look up and I was like, oh, there are also people here. There definitely shouldn't be people walking on the road, but there are people here, and then observe them. And, you could tell they were wearing older clothes and going to a party, and it was relevant, why I was seeing something from the past. So, but it was also in the going from a trail to down a little street that, and into another wooded area. But I think that my connection with that is probably similar because we work really well with the elementals.
Right.
I'm comfortable with the elemental energy.
Yeah.
So.
Very much.
Sometimes in my dreams, I go into like past life stuff in my dreams, because I vividly remember, and I don't remember a lot of my dreams, but the ones that really are, that you wake up from because you're like, oh crap, and you wake up, those I remember. And it was like the early 1900s, and I was one of those early Model T cars that, the 2 doors and the little, maximum speed, like 25, 30 miles an hour. And the guy I was married to jumped out of the car, and the car was driving into a building. He was trying to kill me, and I didn't die in the accident. And he took me into the house where his mother was, and then she was trying to poison me. They were trying to kill me. And I was like, holy crap, and I woke up, and I'm like, whoa, what the hell was that?
And do I know these people in this life?
Yeah, I hope not. I hope they're not trying to kill me again. But it's seeing somebody, doing a past life regression, I saw some of the things that my soul went through in different bodies as different people, and that was like just wow. Well, that's no wonder I have, why I clenched my jaw. In one of my past lives, I was in chains, and I had a bit in my mouth. I was chained to a wall. So, I mean, it just, it explained to me why certain things are occurring with my body.
And I was a prisoner, I guess, like I was a slave. And I had a chain around my neck, and it explains why I'm always tight.
Yeah.
And people are like, you're always like protecting, like, and I'm always covering my neck, and I'm always tight, like back here on my neck. They're like, it's because it's that shackle that was around my neck. My past life.
I can't stand to have anything touch the front of my neck. It drives me nuts.
I don't like
I saw myself hung in a lifetime. So
Jessica Jones and I did a show on that. We remote viewed the Salem witch trials, and many people, men and women, have closed off throat chakras because of being hung, or being, like you said, having a chain or a shackle around your neck. I actually did a past life regression on a client and found out she was a dragon in a past life, and she had been chained as a dragon.
Wow.
And I cleared that, and she coughed for 20 straight minutes. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like she was in a theta state, but she was coughing and releasing. So it's like our past lives play so much into this current life, into what issues that we have.
Yeah, I can't have anything on my face. I can't have anyone touch my face. I just can't. You can't do anything on my face. Yeah. I even have a hard time with dentists being around my mouth, but there's some people that will be like, can I touch? I'm like, no, you literally cannot be near my eyes. You can't be near my mouth, because that's how I breathe. And so it's very, for me now, it's always because this is everything I used for my job when I did my military work. I had to be able to see because I was a sniper. I had to be able to control everything, so I had to slow my breathing down. So everything else, so you cannot touch my face. But I'm sure that that's this life. But there's something that bothers me so much that's from a past life that says, no, you cannot come near my face. So
theoretically, we should be able to heal that too, to where these things these things don't bother us anymore.
Yeah, our
Really
quote
just a
unquote
subconscious
irrational
program.
fears.
Yeah.
That's not something we've
Mhm.
experienced in this lifetime, but we
Mhm.
still have that fear. We don't want anybody in that space because it makes us really uncomfortable. Those
Yeah.
things,
Mhm.
I had the past life regression, and I had expectations of healing my physical pain after having this, and I still had my physical pain, so I was kind of like disappointed. Did it really work? Did I really see this? And,
Yeah.
and I know I really saw it, and I do remember some of those things, but I don't think that was like the whole key to why.
Well, sometimes we leave our bits of our soul there, so that's where like a
Soul
shamanic, like a
retrieval.
soul retrieval would come back in, bring all your pieces, because and to do soul retrieval, your body has to be like you have to have done your work.
Right. Well, I did a
It
great shamanic meditation, shamanic journey with Tassel one time, and I literally did my own soul retrieval, but it was all this life stuff. I had a black panther that was going in and like literally sucking up. It looked like fairy dust clouds of energy from each different childhood traumas of mine, where I had left pieces of my soul, and at the end, it came back and blew that all into my mouth.
Oh, wow.
So and Tess was like, "That was soul retrieval. You just did your own soul retrieval. I'm so proud of you." I'm like, "Oh, cool." I didn't know what was going on. So I know I can do it. I just I have to get myself to a state where I can remember the past life stuff and go back in, to get to a level where I can do that. That part I haven't learned how to do yet.
Yeah.
It either happens in a dream or it happened with somebody else guiding me, in a hypnosis.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well, once you're done with your class, we will talk about that, because it's not that hard.
Okay.
Not because you're so familiar with all of this. I don't think you'll have a problem with it. In doing it all at one time is where that's a lot. It's too much. I think, to do it all at one time. So
Yeah, your
that may
physical
be why
body.
you were limited, right? It's like holding all this, and it's a lot. I mean,
but I
so-
definitely would like to learn to do, to clear up whatever is causing my body to be in excruciating amounts of pain all my life. I don't want to be like this forever, and I'm doing everything that I can to not be like this any longer. I want to be free. That's my ultimate goal: be free and just help other people that are going through the same type of experiences any one of us are, whether it's an emotional trauma or a mental trauma or physical, and they're having physical pain, or their body's in physical pain because they've held on to emotional traumas. And I want to help other people learn to do this kind of stuff for themselves so that they can get food.
Yeah, and that's where my limitation is right now, because again, I'm male. So I hurt all the time. I have so many aches and pains throughout my body. But for me, that my mindset has me in, well, this is normal. This is how I've done this to myself. This is how I'm supposed to feel. And I don't pay attention to what causes the pain. Is it something else? I mean, because me, I broke 2 discs in my back. Well, my back hurts because I broke 2 discs in my back. Oh, well, my wrist hurts because I was shot twice. So, okay, so this hurts and this hurts. But I also have other issues, like I have a lot of stomach and chest pains and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, why are those there? Because I didn't do anything to cause those. What causes my digestive tract to have such a terrible response to even the slightest thing? And so
you can Google the holistic. You can Google it. Seriously, like you can Google like what's the holistic cause of heartburn, or what's the spiritual cause of heartburn. You can. Louise Hay wrote 2 really good books that help with like figuring out the emotional cause of the physical, emotional or mental causes for physical ailments.
But that's one of the things that I'm learning. That's something I didn't know. I did not ask those questions before.
This book, Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. You look for your ailment and it tells you the emotion.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I mean,
That one
there's
right
a
there.
lot of information out there.
It's not Louise, but Carol K. Newman. But
Aaron
Louise
posted
has
one as
books.
well down there that says "You Can Heal Your Life" by Louise Hay is amazing.
Yes.
So Aaron's also posting one, but that's what I'm saying is like for me, I just my whole life I'm like, well, I'm supposed to be in this pain because something's causing it, not realizing that it may not be something current,
Right.
and that's where I'm learning, and this is one of my growths that I'm going through because I'm sick of being in the pain I'm in.
Yeah, me too.
You know, so I'm trying to figure out what do I need to do, but then we conflict with I'm really lazy. So
Have you all done a heavy metal cleanse?
no.
I'm like, wait, what? Oh,
This is
I've gone to a heavy metal
hold
concert.
on.
okay. I swear 95% of our physical pain, like fibromyalgia, all these things, because I healed myself through heavy metal and parasite cleansing. So these heavy metals wreak havoc on our body. They get in our tissues, they get in our cells, they cause us pain, suffering, they lower our frequency, they hold us into the density. And once we cleanse our bodies of it, very simple ways: zeolite, bentonite clay, cilantro. Medical Medium has a book out that specifically makes a smoothie to cleanse heavy metals out of your body. But I'm a firm believer of bentonite clay and zeolite. Totally wipes it out of your system, pulls out all heavy metals like arsenic, mercury, all the bad ones, all the crappy ones. And then once you can clear out the heavy metals, you can add the minerals back in, the magnesium, the potassium, the chromium, the good minerals, and your body will start to actually absorb things that it couldn't absorb before because your cells are overrun by heavy metals, and the parasites will feed off of the heavy metals. So I'm actually doing a couple shows. I've got a few people lined up to talk specifically about introduction to heavy metal cleansing and parasites. But I'm telling you, that changed my world because I knew I was picking up. I mean, I'm highly empathic, picking up on everybody's energy, but there was something more to that. I had to heal my physical body. So that's when I was guided into learning more about heavy metals. My dad actually healed his Lyme disease and his prostate cancer and Epstein-Barr by the Medical Medium books, Anthony Williams, and
I follow
heavy
him
metals.
on Facebook. But I haven't gotten any of the books, but I do follow him on Facebook. That's cool.
Me knowing a boss. Yeah, so I'm telling you, research heavy metal cleansing and get a good quality green. There's a green clay or bentonite clay, and you want to make sure it's edible. But it's something that I've had several clients who have been like, within 2 weeks, they felt like a different person. Some that had the fibromyalgia diagnosis. Yeah.
I get mine on Amazon.
Yeah, you can get it on
Just
Amazon.
Just make sure it says food grade. Like
and edible. Said. Yeah, you want to make sure it's edible.
Okay, Jamie, I'll be hitting you up. Jamie, help me.
I make all kinds of weird things with bentonite clay.
It's amazing. You use face masks. I mean, you can even put in your animals' food and
I'm like
zeolite.
Deodorant.
It's good to take the bentonite and the zeolite because bentonite pulls out certain metals and zeolite pulls out other metals. So it is good to combine the two. Like maybe do one at night and one in the morning.
Okay. Cool. I will check.
I do it too, like, because you can never get all your deodorant off. Like, I don't know if anybody said this is a weird thing to talk about, but you can't get it, and your body's absorbing that mess. But that bentonite clay will pull all of it out.
Yeah,
like it just removes it, like, and it's just dirt.
And it's cheap. It's so cheap and it's so easy.
Okay. I'll check into it.
Yeah, edible red clay too, Melody, on there on the chat. Yeah.
Now down south, you can't use the red. The red clay is for the red bricks.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's called redwood red clay. I don't know. It's from Arizona or somewhere, I believe. I don't know. I don't do the red clay. I just do the bentonite clay. But I kept telling so many people about it. I just ended up putting all the products on my website because I'm like, here, just go there. You all can check it out.
Well, only they have red salt. The red salt. What is that called, Melody? It's something with an A.
The Himalayan sea salt?
No, it's not the pink salt. Hawaii has their own special things.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something that starts with an A. And I have a little bit of it too.
I buy the clay as a powder. So let me go see if I can actually
I don't have it in a package. I just have it I have it in a peanut butter jar.
Hey Tom, we took over again.
I know. I don't
Yes.
even.
Yes.
This is the
That little
zeolite
tiny
comes
word
in
right
like
there,
a thing
Mary.
like this. I don't know if you can see this zeolite, and then it's like a powder form.
I can't
There's
see
a little
shit.
scooper in here.
I know, I can't either.
It's like
blind.
a powder form. I don't know if you can even see it, but it's like a white powder. And the clay looks the same. The clay comes in a little thingy too, just like this.
Do you eat it, drink it?
Yeah. So you take there's scooper in there. And now here's the kicker. Here's the thing. When you're doing zeolite and bentonite clay, you cannot use stainless or metal utensils because it deactivates them. It'll actually not pull out the metals in your body. So anytime you use these products, you'll always want to use wood, like a wooden spoon or a plastic spoon, or in a glass. You want to use glass. So no metal, no aluminum, no stainless,
no problem.
All that stuff. Yeah, I got take your scooper
wooden
and put it in
mortar and pestle. I got some wooden stuff, and I've
wooden, plastic, and glass. That's what you want to do with these guys. But yeah, you take it and you put it in your 4 to 8 ounces of water and you chug that baby down. I do it before bed, the clay, and then I do the zeolite in the morning.
And you're not going to poop out bricks, right?
You're not going to poop out bricks, but you definitely want to make sure you're drinking plenty of water. You don't want to be dehydrated because that's not going to help.
I was just like, well, how's it going to come out the other end?
I will say you might smell a little because it detoxes. And when you drink it, I'm like, whoo, man, I smell in the morning. I'm like, whoo.
Make sure you take your shower.
Make sure you take a shower before you go be around people. Okay.
Yes, but spirulina is good too.
I love spirulina.
Hawaiian spirulina. Yeah. So these are all things, but yeah, check out Medical Medium, Anthony Williams. He's got some good content for cleansing and whatnot. But parasite cleanse is a whole different category. That's like black walnut, clove, wormwood, that kind of stuff. And I've actually got a show lined up in 2 weeks to talk about how to cleanse yourself of parasites. And there's a lot of details about that because parasites come out to feed during full moons. That's why people get a little crazy. That's why they call it lunatics, lunar energy. So parasites actually come out to feed during the full moons. And so you want to take your parasite killing, remedies, herbal remedies during a full moon period, because that's when they come out to feed and that's when you can kill them. The eggs, the larvae, all that jazz. But all those things play a role in your pain because they're in your tissues and in your mercury,
because I've done
brain tissue. Yeah.
I've done so many different forms of healing, either with other people or learning that for myself and doing it for myself. And I follow, a lot of different people from Louise Hay to Joe Dispenza, I've done everything I can think of, and I'm still flaring up from my fibromyalgia and chronic myofascial pain, and I still clench my jaw and break my, I'm breaking my teeth because
jaw clenching is a sign of parasites. So anytime you're clenching, like TMJ or clenching, that's a sign of parasites. Yeah. And 95% of us have them unless you've cleansed, So yeah, and I got to a point where I was cleansing a couple times a year, but now I just do it maintenance, just to keep it good and clean.
Okay, well, this is all like new for me, so it's good.
Yeah, this is kind of a.
Yeah.
I know we all have all these different backgrounds, like he's a former sniper. So, hey, can you give me some shooting lessons? Yeah. Okay. I'll do some scrying for you if you teach me how to shoot.
Well, I think too, Debbie, it's like we're like, okay, it's an emotion. It's got to be an emotion, or it's got to be past life, or it's got to be this. But then we're like, it's physical. It might be physical.
Yeah, I'm literally
because I did the same thing.
Clear everything, and I'm still hurting. I'm not in bed anymore. I was in bed for 15 years, and I left when my ex left. My ex left, hit the road, and I had to get up. I had nobody to take care of me. I had to get out of bed, and I had already started doing a lot of inner work. And I released as much as I could up to that point with the limited knowledge of, how do I release? Like Tom was saying, how do you get rid of stuff you don't even realize you're holding on to, and I've done a lot of work since then, but I still have, headaches every day, clenching my jaw every day. I still have nerve pain in my, in my lower back and in my neck and my arms. And, I want to fully heal, and I want to be able to learn so I can teach it to other people. Because I want to help other people.
Well,
so
that's
all of this information is
what
amazing.
all of us. I think that's what all of us are doing with the wounded. The wounded healer.
Too.
It is you know.
Well,
I did too. And I had such severe fibromyalgia pain. I was working in a hospital setting, and I would get up in the morning. It would take me 3 hours to get ready for work. I had to crawl to the bathroom. I was in such agonizing pain with what the doctors kept telling me was fibromyalgia, but I was not taking that as my diagnosis, because I know once you label yourself with that, that's what you have. And
yes,
so
exactly.
I started finding these rabbit holes, and I will say heavy metal cleansing, parasite cleansing, then reintroducing minerals back into the body. I have no problems with pain anymore. No problems.
Amazing.
And I was debilitated.
Yeah. I still
like almost paralyzed
then,
from the waist down for 4 months. My parents had to fly out and take care of me because I was in such debilitating pain. And I was working on my emotions, my shadow work, all that. But then I got to a point where I think it's physical, has to be physical. And then heavy metals, it was like night and day, getting rid of those out of my body.
I'll have to check into that. I really appreciate you sharing that information, because
and I just throw it out there as a seed, because it may or may not work for you, but it's worth giving a shot.
It's still worth trying. I've tried everything else, so I'm willing to try anything that's going to be helpful for me in the long run, whether it heals my pain or not. It'll be helpful to get rid of those heavy metals,
even if it alleviates it a little bit.
Right. Any little bit would be helpful. I'd be grateful for anything. So, All right.
Well, it's easy to talk about stuff. Yeah. We've talked forever. It's easy to talk about stuff when you haven't done it.
Well, and this is, I mean, I again, this is why I love doing my show, because we get to do stuff like this. And I love not being part of anyone's group, because I can have my show run as long as we want. So I don't care. But I am going to close up with that, because we are a little after 2 hours. We're about 2 hours.
2 hours. It's 9:11 here, so.
Yeah, it is here too. So, but I'll go ahead and close there, ladies. And Joe, earlier, thank you for being on. I appreciate it. Thank you for the audience, as always.
Thank you all.
This was again, this is our second one we've done. I think I'm going to continue doing these down the road. I like having these options, so we can just come in and do what I call an open mic night. We can just come in and talk about anything. Night, Melody, appreciate it. And
Hi, Melody.
and just kind of and allow this to happen. And again, I don't care who wants to come on. I appreciate all experiences. I don't care if someone who's coming on just to ask questions, because you're like, hey, I just got here, I'm brand new, this happened, I need help. Cool, come on in. If Jessica was on here, she'd be like, you know what? We probably found a new portal tonight. She would have been
on here, but her son was sick.
Yeah,
oh, like, bless his heart.
Like, I think we know where Bigfoot kind of comes to in and out now, and he is from a different dimension. Stuff like that. So cool. And I don't care what we talk about, and that's the cool thing about this is I don't limit us, and I don't ever want to limit us. And I explain that to people, that this is exactly why the show is put on, because we learn so much. I have life coaches. I have paranormal investigators. I have cryptid hunters. I have ufologists. I have storytellers and authors and whatever else. I don't care. I want it all on here, and I want everyone to understand that this is what we're doing, is we're growing this community, because we all have an opportunity to learn. I have learned so much tonight. I even wrote down notes.
I did too.
I know, right? Now,
I'm going to go back and rewatch and write down notes.
Right. And the good question is, though, am I going to follow up and actually look into the notes that I wrote down?
Hey, even a lazy man can drink bentonite clay. You can do it.
Does it have a taste?
Yeah.
I take it in capsules. I'll go ahead and tell you.
You can do capsules.
I cheat. I do capsules. Because and I haven't should have.
I mean, I firmly believe that women who, like pregnant women who get pica, they crave something, and a lot of them will crave dirt. I firmly believe it's because their body's telling them they're trying to rid themselves of toxins and heavy metals.
Back in the day, people used to just grab a chunk of clay and, I mean, they would eat it.
Yeah.
So
it's a thing.
Yeah.
So. All right, ladies. Thank you for being on. I appreciate you all very much.
Thank you
to all of you and to my audience.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Y'all have a fabulous one.
And I will talk to all of you later. I'm going to do a sign off really quick and let people know what's coming up for next week. So you can stay on if you want. If not, you can go. I understand.
Bye.
Everyone knows, here's how you find me. Is everything down below. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitch, and I'm on YouTube, and I got a better YouTube. And I got a better YouTube channel now that you don't have to worry about typing in all the letters and numbers and weird symbols and everything else. So you can come out here, you can go ahead and take a look at this and reach me on any of these. I also have a Gmail if you want to email me. Excuse me. It is stuffineverlearned@gmail.com. All is one word. Next Monday, I do have another show coming on. I actually have someone who is a local to me here. I met her by randomness. I thought I was feeling energy from one person, and I was trying to get the person onto my show. And it turns out I was wrong. I was pulling energy from somebody else. And I ended up meeting her as I was walking out the door. And her name is Kim Irwin. She's kind of a little bit of everything. So I will be sure to, as I always do, I'll go ahead and get a commercial out there for her. So you guys know what's coming up. I am actually traveling tomorrow, Wednesday, and I'll be back Thursday. So it may be a little late as far as the commercial coming out or the advertisement coming out, but it will be out there. I promise. And I hope everyone comes and watches next Monday. Remember, Stuff I Never Learned from the Schoolbook. Live Monday night, 7 p.m. Central. Much love to y'all. Have a great night. And